Drali might be the in-form guy right now, taking down Ruas in a stunning all-time great preliminary final earlier. And now Nass has come back to play him again in yet another matchup in the rivalry. And all-time, Nass has 3 wins to Drali's 0. So it's not just earlier in this tournament, it's in the only matches they've ever played, Nass has been victorious.
And we have seen on numerous occasions that we have had players and teams that have been in form, but once they come up against a player that they've had a hurdle against for the longest time, usually levels drop rather than it being a brand new level. As Drali, though, oh, what a great start that is. Just stretched Nass far too thin.
Yeah, Nass is just trying to get into a good position here. Drali with a nice recovery. You notice how he leads back there into a wave dash to set up the bottom corner shot. And, you know, Drali was completely top form against Ruas earlier on. It's not just difficult for us to gauge Nass's level from that preliminary final. Really weird series against TRK. I'm sure it's difficult for Nass to gauge his own level as well. Oh, what a shot by Drali. He's placed it perfectly with the wave dash.
I don't think I've ever seen this before, not in this style anyway. Just drop down, wave dash. Nass, there is no reading that. He has to play it as if that wave dash is going to be used as a shot to the far corner. If he doesn't, he wouldn't make it if it was. Drali is styling in this tournament.
I think Nass might have one back though. Yes, he does. If Drali was full speed ahead, well, now Nass has given him something to think about. He's been an awkward player for many players in this event. Nass's run so far has had him sweeping Vatira, which is already impressive, going game 5 with Zen, beating Drali, sweeping Oski, and then losing in game 5 to Naupo, and then beating Oski with a reverse sweep in game 5. So I mean, he's had lots of tense moments. Beat Ruas in game 5 yesterday as well. So yeah, Nass has had a super impressive run, and against stacked competition the entire way. But is Drali on a different level today? We know he's shown up on the grand final, or the final day of the competition, with his best form. Nass will need to do the same if he's going to match it.
And that last one was just a little bit of a pathing issue for Nass. He had to slow down to pick up the 100 boost, and by the time he did that, face of the ball was enough to beat him. Will not want to be handing stuff like that away throughout this grand finals. Quick reminder as well for those of you that might require it. This is not the last thing you've seen today. We have got a whole NA bracket to come up after this one.
Oh, a save by Drali. He's going to try and get us to the NA matches as quickly as he can, I'm sure. Nass had a lot of success with his 50-50s in the preliminary final against TRK, but that one's been stopped short, and now Drali's got tons of boost in defense. Oh, look at the placement by Nass, though, with the flip reset. Drali's defense has been on a different level today, but he couldn't get anywhere near that shot.
That was a massive read, and just put it into the one spot that he couldn't get to. Drali has been incredible at not only saving those, but pushing them into the corner, continuing the pace, and finding the counter-attacking goal. Maybe Nass just is all ready for that. Here we go, attempt number 2. Gonna play it a bit differently this time and just let the ball roll a bit too far in front of the car, so had to just give up, didn't want to overcommit.
Yeah, Drali trying to keep the shooting angle alive here. Has to accept the low 50 though. I don't think either of these players are going to be particularly susceptible to low 50s. They like to hit the ball, they like to play a good piece of the ball in most of their challenges. Drali more so. He's been very difficult to fake out today. Ruas pulled it off a few times, but they were all well worked. Oh, what a save by Nass. I mean, not sure he even expected Drali to be shooting there. But he reacted incredibly quickly. And now he's got Drali backed up into a corner. Ceiling set up by Nass. He goes for the fake shot. Drali spots it early and counters.
And Nass has kind of got away with one there. That was on target. That was just going to be 4-2. It was up high. Good recovery from Drali. Gets onto the backboard. Good 100 boost steal. And Drali's only got 7 now. So it's all about just buying some time, getting back, and redeploying yet again. Good angles here from Nass. Just couldn't hook back around for the third one.
Oh, he wins the mid-boost battle. Drali looked like he had the head start on that, but Nass bumps him off of it. Still looking for the tie game with the aerial play. Early reset, but Nass got bumped, and his landing on the post is a bad one. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Nass. He got the outplay, but he got bumped so he couldn't play the rebound, and he awkwardly landed on the worst part of the post. See the frustration? Yeah, just had no chance to recover there.
We often do not comment on player mentality because it's usually something that we just don't know about. But what we do know is that a player spamming the look back button tends to mean that they're not very happy about what just happened.
And that's right back into attack. Not really a lot going on that play though. Oh, he's done well after the fact though.
We'll play quick.
Momentary open net, and he takes it fast enough to put himself within a goal again. Nass has been the aggressor for most of this game, particularly the mid-game, after Drali's, 2 goals straight out the gate. And now it's Nass who's controlling the game, 58% possession. And Drali probably won't fight too hard for that. He doesn't mind playing defense, it would seem.
Especially not today, although that was not a fake that Nass was going to fall for. And he's taking it first time, 4 each. Just showed a glimpse, and Nass was happy to take it all.
Oh, that's very careless by Drali. He took his eye off Nass. He was looking at the goal, he was looking at the ball, but he couldn't see Nass coming towards him in a position where you really should be able to see your opponent. And Nass was given the entry to the challenge super easily, and ties the game without much resistance from Drali, and he might get another very low resistance goal. Well, Drali has been making everybody work for their goals all tournament long, but now Nass has got another free one.
Oh, Drali's wave dash just went in the wrong direction. He tried a wave dash to have the pace to go and challenge, landed, and put too much angle on it, so he just went behind the ball.
Nass silencing all doubters with the game won. Drali's had big 1v1 tournament wins before. Nass has not. He's, looking to join the stacked list of players who have gone the full distance and made the tournament win their own. Can he get this shot off? Not early enough, and in fact shoots it right towards Drali, who's passed him in the midfield. That's not going to bounce kindly for him. Drali does have an advantage of the position.
Nass tries to go infield. Didn't quite work. Angle was covered. A minute left. If Nass can get a second one on the board. Reset Drali. That's what he's been doing all day long. Only one that didn't go behind him. Now his turn to cook. Goes back around. Reset. Oh, he didn't get enough on it. And it almost caught Nass out, who couldn't recover.
Yeah, Nass was expecting a better shot than that. Drali had the reset in sight. Missed the touch, though. And that faked out Nass. His save went straight back towards Drali for the tie game. And glad that Drali's forced the issue there, though. I mean, that was definitely a forced mistake. Nass had to respect the ability of Drali to flip reset that one high, and now Drali's got a really good position for himself. Somewhat giving the ball away, but he can still fight for it. Nass calmly wins back the boost, wins back the possession, and now works his way into the midfield. Good trip though by Drali.
Yeah, Drali's going to take these last 20 seconds, and he's going to probably save this, so that way he's got the only chance of this play. At least there was an early move there from Nass to at least force the issue. Now he gets to steal the turn back. Oh my goodness, Drali's come out of nowhere! Nass had no idea that was happening.
I don't believe it. Drali went all in for this one. Ceiling challenge where he comes off this sidewall in the setup. That is incredibly aggressive. Nass thought he had all the time in the world. He expected Drali to back down in the closing seconds, defend at a later stage. Drali calls that, predicts it, and dives in early. Now he just needs to get his hands on the ball, which he might be able to do here. Does go up in the air though. Nass can make something happen in 0 seconds.
Drali, he's got vision. Goes up, good touch. Can't afford to go for the 100 boost, and it has dropped down. Well scouted the whole way there from Drali. And what an opening game that was.
Yeah, back and forth after the initial burst from Drali. It looked like Nass might be outmatched, but he fought back well. Actually outstruck Drali 16 shots to 9. The output from Nass, ridiculous in game 1, as you can see on the Next Rank post-game stats. !TNR in Twitch chat if you want to get the link for thenextrank.com or the YouTube description if you're watching over there. We've got 5 exclusive videos for anyone who signs up to the email list, and you'll also get a 15% discount when the course drops at the start of next year if you decide to sign up using that link yourselves. Now, Nass Drali, the all-time record is Nass favored, but Drali right now seems to be farm favored based on what we've seen altogether today. You know, it could just be the fact that it's a grand final. It could be the fact that he's up against a guy he's never beaten in a series before. But Drali did make some mistakes in that game. We've hardly seen him concede an easy goal all tournament. But Nass managed to find those openings in game one more than any other player we've seen.
Still, Drali came out on top. Managed to beat Roas in game 7 earlier on in one of the all-timers that we've seen. But when you get that sort of win, it doesn't tend to mean too much if you can't go on to win the tournament after the fact. I just want to watch that final goal on repeat forever. The amount of decision-making that went right there for Drali was incredible, and he's got the decisions right again. Nass tried to meet him, but Drali just kept raising the bar.
Yeah, Nass definitely elevated his aerial game recently, but I think Drali still has the edge there. He's been equal and better than everyone he's played. He's played Zen in this tournament. He's played Roas in this tournament. He's, you know, been able to go toe-to-toe with some of the best aerial attackers and aerial defenders in the game. Nass, I think, wants to keep this more on the ground if he can. The bad news for him is that's also looked pretty solid for Drali all week.
Pops the ball up, in and out, save.
Wow.
And that's still for Nass at a playable spot. And he just kind of got bumped into it for extra power.
Yeah, great pull shot clear there by Drali. Just hit Nass into the ball to deny him any control in that position. You know, really a triple save if you think about it there from Drali. He's been quite happy to play the defender for more of the series. Nass gonna try and roll through him, and no way through there. Instead, it's Drali with the demo. Drali with the open net from distance. One extra touch, because why not? Drali for the second game in a row leads 2-0.
I think more than anything we saw in the last game, this was a statement of intent goal for Drali, because that was the sort of play Nass was doing an awful lot against TLK and getting a lot of success. If those challenges are not going to work out for Nass, Drali has got a lot of this game already covered.
Oh, he wanted the floor pinch there. Nass was back to respect it, and that's a heavy hit, but it's gone wide the other way. Drali actually read the post bounce there. Phenomenal read to cover that one. He didn't immediately dive to the corner, but Nass has faked him out. Well, that's convincing by Nass, because Drali's very difficult to fake in the air. He had a heavy first touch, made it look like he's going to get a heavy second touch as well. Drali flies right by.
Yeah, Drali's just trying to cover for any sort of air dribble attempt, any flip reset as the ball comes back down. And Nass just realized that the trajectory of the ball was perfect for him just to leave it. And Drali, can take this for a block shot. That one just pushed wide. Nass just got a bit of pace for himself. Drali already back. Flick, up above. Boost stolen. Drali has been in this position plenty of times, and that touch from Nass was not good enough. Straight into the path of his opposition.
Yeah, Drali had no pressure there, waiting to find out what kind of bounce he's going to have to deal with. That's careless by Nass as he gives Drali another clear opening. Seems like it's Drali's day. What can Nass do about it?
It'd be so key as well, just to not go down by 2-0, looking for the bump.
Save.
Yeah, many have tried today, Nass. Very few have succeeded. Drali, counter-attack. Oh, it was almost the bread and butter.
Yeah, he gets the boost steal cleanly, and that continues pressuring. He's got a dunk as well. He can bump Nass away. The good resilience there by Nass not to panic, and in fact, win the mid-boost race. That could have very easily been 4-1 against lesser opposition, but Nass staying solid in defense, making Drali work for this one. Drali's so difficult to demo as he runs high on the wall there, making Nass think twice before committing for the bump. Nass actually sets up an air dribble with a very nice touch here. Oh, what a flick to the backboard. Nass with an open top corner, and he puts it in. Well, that was exquisite in the setup by Nass.
He just managed to pull off the Batmobile flick using the Fennec. That was absurd height he got. And Nass has got this down to 1. What can we get off the kickoff, though? I do believe it has been Drali favored up to this point. Central kickoff, and Drali's going to have the ball yet again, and tried to score, but doesn't work. Now it's up to recovery. 100 boost for Nass, trips, and will walk the ball in.
The risk for Drali did not pay off. He must have known that Nass was in the area, and he just threw himself at the ball anyway. Nass shrugged off the challenge, easily saved a shot, and it was well-worked trip as well. You know, demo trip didn't really matter there. Nass was quite happy regardless. And Drali's missed the mid-boost there. That leaves it for Nass. It could be a chance for Nass to go in front here, but Drali just gets a piece on the flick.
Good fake out as well, Nass. Oh, Drali did jump, just tried to get Nass to move early. Nass happy to respond in kind and hit the post, hit the crossbar. Now it's just going to go in, or is it? No, it's actually been off target. Now we're hitting the crossbar, and finally the ball has gone in. That was certainly a sequence of events that happened back to back.
Oh, that's just so unfortunate for Nass. He was punished by his own accuracy there. If he was less accurate with the shot, it would have been easier to recover from, but in the aftermath, he panicked, he missed a touch on the back wall, and Drali effortlessly outplays him to go up by a goal. You know, Nass has got to keep Drali under control here. Drali looking to go ahead by 2 with a bump. Nass flies low. Oh, what a save by Nass. He let Drali fly over him, and then somehow had enough upper momentum to get the ball into the crossbar.
I don't know how he managed to keep that car going forwards. The moment you start dropping down is usually when your upward trajectory is just gone. You rarely can get it back. Drali, we got bumped into it, and that puts it wide. Great play there from Nass, who keeps himself at least alive in this game. Still only 1 goal difference. And Nass has got control of the ball.
Yeah, look at the respect Nass has got for Drali's ball control. Maybe that was an ill-advised pinch, though. He's given it away. Nass with a huge save attempt, but he misses it. Yeah, that pinch did not help him out. I mean, it could go in, but what's happening if it doesn't? It's just a goal for Drali, who is in position to counter-attack. 2-goal difference, about to be a 2-game difference. Nass has got 43 seconds to work with.
Nass had one of these sort of games against TRK where he got some goals at the very end. Can he do it again? Oh my goodness, Drali's recoveries, as always, on point. And it's an open net. Tell me if you've seen that one before. Drali gets him on the counter-attack.
Drali's just baiting everyone in this whole tournament. You think you've got the ball past him, and not only does he even the position, but he wins the position. He gets to the ball first, and you know, to do that against an opponent in Rocket League is so difficult when they think they've got you beat to the ball, and you can actually just beat them. Imagine doing that at pro level. Nass forced to go all in here. He has no other option. Can he make the impossible pinch work? It's not directly on target, but it is into a playable position. Flip reset for Nass, but the follow-up is so awkward. He can't make it work, and that will be game 2 to Drali, as he takes a strong lead in the grand final of Stage 2.
I want to go back to something you said just a moment ago there, where Drali has managed to bait in Nass for these positions. We saw what Nass was doing against TRK. We saw the hesitancy that was there against TRK. And yet, Drali is doing something to make that exact same player think, nah, this one I've got. This one I can outplay him. And it still doesn't quite work. Drali is putting himself into at least visually bad positions to get long-term gains.
Yeah, he's just baiting in his opponents. They think that they've got him. And then all of a sudden, he's actually the one out playing them. And Nass has to dig deep here. That was not the same control that he had in the opening game. Drali, kind of took that away from him there. It was a more comfortable win than the opening game of the series. Does Nass have the ability to level up? We had a 1-goal game in the opener, now 3-goal difference. Drali is clearly the player to beat right now. Nass, I think he's got to win the next game. Like, reverse sweeping is hard enough in Rocket League, hard enough in 1v1, but especially against a player on form like this. We'll take a look at some of the highlights. Shotcast, the official podcast of Salt Mine 3, sponsoring the highlights for this tournament and helping to make the tournament possible in the first place. Rizzo and CJ, my co-host, a special shout out to them, but also the Shotcast community for all the support over the past year. I think it has been a year, actually, we've had that podcast up and running. If you've got any suggestions for guests you'd like to see integrated to the show, be sure to let us know by joining the Discord using chalked in Twitch chat or scrolling down to the YouTube description. I think we've actually got all the players in here. I'm not sure what we're waiting for game 3.
I don't know what's happening today. Is this us?
Fine.
Are we out of sync with the rest of the world right now? I don't know what's going on.
It's all good. We've got, you know, lovely Manfield night, ambient sounds.
There we go.
Drali is here. Okay. Our mistake if he said BRB, but we are good to go with game 3. Drali is back. And he's actually just going to fake the kickoff and let Nass run it right through. Not again, Shogun. Don't let it be another situation where we've just got a game of kickoff goals on open nets. It might be a goal here for Nass. Oh, Drali spawns near post. He's a genius. And now he's got the ball as well.
The one bit of luck in Rocket League, and it's gone against Nass.
Oh, a perfect spawn for Drali. Nass with a heavy hit will back him down and even out the boost disadvantage. Drali is not afraid of going full distance with the air dribble. We're seeing this from pretty much everyone in Salt Mine 3 this season. And the fake is effective. Nass flopping past the ball. Drali up by 1 again.
This was something that I saw an awful lot of in the group stages, and happy to see it now today. The flying nothing, get the reset, do 0 with it, and just let the opponent just go flying past the ball. Might be one of the most satisfying ones players currently going. Drali with the opportunity in this game to give himself quadruple match point, but if Nass is playing like that, it might be a bit more difficult than just saying it aloud.
Yeah, beautiful finish by Nass here. Drali pathing back in the small pads, but Nass gave him no time. Just slots it straight over him with power and accuracy. Like we keep saying, this feels like a must-win game for Nass. Drali on any day will be difficult to reverse sweep. Oh, he's actually jumped Nass with the most patient play. Just sits underneath Drali. And I think Drali he got bored and he just wanted to do something. That's the zoomer in him. He's like, well, I'm not just going to keep sitting here. I want to jump or, you know, try to influence the play in some way. And Nass just had the open net after tripping up Drali for an extended time.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that Drali can do there that is not going to result in a goal.
Yeah.
Might as well get everything to hurry up. Nass now, 1 goal lead. He's trying to set himself up for the cringe and instead gets ricocheted into the ball. Oh, he's going to get far corner. Yes, he is. Hits the crossbar. Drali tries to recover. He's not going to get there in time. Nass playing incredibly well.
Yeah, it's a great save in the air dribble bump by Drali, actually firing Nass back into his own shot, but Nass still had the follow-up play. An accurate flick kept Drali from getting any piece of the ball there. Nass looks deadly with his finishing, even though he's down in the series by 2 games. Still producing his best when he's up against it.
Drali needs to use the blind spot of the ball. Let's actually have the 100. How much does Nass want to stick around here? Might be setting himself up for failure and does realize that he's got back down. Drali was just biting away at his heels. Nass actually fakes away, but he was still in the blind spot that entire time for Drali, who couldn't quite figure out where Nass's car was. Now hooks back in, far corner. Nass is just playing this so patiently.
And this is not the first time. We saw this against TRK as well. Nass loves to let his opponents win 50-50s sideways when they're in their own back corner. He just backs away, just turns, goes back into the center of the box, and the ball comes off the wall and back to him. So yeah, he's clearly got that one perfectly timed. And yeah, he's backing up Drali so consistently here. 7 shots for Nass already inside the first 2 minutes. It's just all Nass right now in the 3rd game. Drali patiently waiting for the crossbar to be done, playing with the ball here. And Nass is going for the... Well, he actually went for the shot there off his own backboard, but misses it, and that gives Drali a chance to follow up. Got 67% field control for Nass. It was almost 70% for a moment there. We've seen some games where Drali's conceded the midfield to his opponent, but this is the next level of that. I don't think he's really had a choice in the matter.
Didn't come too far away from finding the demo. Now he's got the angle. Oh, he had a complete blind spot. And Nass just dove in towards him. Good flick. Drali at corner. Nass will happily steal the extra 100. Again there for Drali, going to back this down, although the midfield boost was available for Nass. That makes life very, very difficult for Drali. Can't afford to get bumped. Didn't quite get bumped, and it was actually a bad recovery that saved him.
Will Drali bring this down? Yes, he will. Perfect flick over Nass. Drali happy to take Nass on in the ground game, and with first touches like that, he's going to have a great matchup anywhere he wants. Drali fires back. 2-goal difference is still a very Nass favored game. And Drali work with the momentum he just gave himself.
Drop back down. Drali needs to get that back ball into the corner. Has done it. Now time for the outplay. Reset gained. Decided not to go for it. Has he caught Nass out? No, Nass still in position. And he's going to add to that lead.
Yeah, that was probably not the play there from Drali. Went all in for something very speculative. He'd have to hit that flick in reverse unbelievably well for it to outplay Nass, who was ready and waiting in the near post in the goal. And Drali felt like he had something there. Oh, smart fake kickoff there by Nass. Wins a possession for free. And when you're up by 3 goals at this stage of the game, it's always a good idea to mix into your gameplay. So all this time wasted in the midfield, time that Drali needs a lot more than Nass does.
100 boost steal, and that is a really crucial second touch for Nass. Drali at least tries to stick to it. 100 becomes the target, now the car becomes the target, and now the goal becomes the target. 2-goal lead is all that's left.
Oh, it's killer instinct by Drali. To spot an opening in a position like this is so impressive. A lot of players would have just been confused about what to do there, but he gets the counter-attack started by booming the ball into his own back corner, threatens the demo, shoots underneath the pre-jumping Nass. He's within 2 goals with over a minute to go, and he wins the race to the mid-boost as well. Drali starting to really build a comeback.
Both of these players have dropped leads today. 3-goal lead has been very, very sketchy throughout the semi-finals. How will it last in the finals? Nass wants that challenge. Gets the 100 boost. Drali is going to be running so low. He's not going to get there in time. And that comfort cushion is right back in place.
Oh, Nass is just a master of awkward positions. Look at how he's got Drali driving out of the way. He didn't need to take any risks there. He just fakes a 50-50 and then centers the ball to himself. And while all that's happening, Drali's the player. He's got all the pressure on him. Any mistake in that position, and it's a goal for Nass. And he's going to dribble it back. Nass is just too smart. And Drali says no problem next. I think he just sees what Nass is going to do and doesn't even want to play the rest of the game. Well played, Nass, to force next after the kickoff.
I don't think I've ever seen a game won just by running back to your own back corner.
Yeah,
it's a day of firsts for me today, Johnny.
I mean, it makes sense, though. Drali knew, well, there's no way I'm going to win this. Nass is just going to control the ball for another 10, 15 seconds and then probably get midfield play again. So really nicely done. I mean, Drali knows with 3-goal difference and the time running away, just not really possible, is it? I mean, it is possible, but Nass completely frustrated him in that game. Again, outstruck him by a massive margin. Nass has been the creator of chances. If he can be clinical, he will have a chance of closing this series out.
I think what's impressed me most actually about Nass's striking is he's always putting it behind Drali's car. The best thing that Drali had going for himself up against Rawas in the last one is that he was getting the save and he had momentum post-save. At the moment, he's getting the save, and now he's got to scramble to recover because there's another shot coming in just a moment.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of Nass's success. He's been able to keep Drali back. I mean, you don't get, these kind of shot totals against a player like Drali unless you've consistently forced them to make saves back to back to back by attacking for extended periods of time. And like you mentioned, Rawas, and before that, almost every other player Drali played really struggled to do that to Drali because he was creating counter-attacking threats. He was finding openings to cleanly intercept and land well after saving shots from close range. Nass is really not given those openings to him, and he might be taking the lead here. No, it's just going to be a quick recovery for Drali. Well worked there. Drali's got to try and find a way out of defense if he's going to be the guy in control of the series here, because he has kind of handed control away to Nass in a couple of these games. If Nass can box him into a corner, like you mentioned, very difficult game to play, difficult guy to get past, or get the ball past in these kind of positions.
And we have hit the business end of this series. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Nass is just going to try and use the inside of the goal. But we are either looking at tied up series or triple tournament point. It is a massive, massive game for both of these players. Nass fakes out going early. There's no boost in that far corner, so Drali's just going to stick around. Didn't actually turn up for Nass either, so he's going to play us with 12. And he found some power with just 12 boost.
Oh, he's not the only one.
It's just off target, but what a good attempt.
Yeah, I don't think Nass is ready for that one. He's got to be aware. Anytime he booms the ball at Drali's backboard,
How is he so good at that?
he's pretty decent, isn't he? I wasn't worried personally. You know, some people call it the unstoppable move. Some people, you know, call it the unstoppable shot.
Seems pretty stopped to me.
Yeah, very stoppable when you're watching the class of defense we've had on display in this day. Oh wow, Nass shots though, just too good. And again, the placement on these finishes are not giving easy clears to Drali. Notice where Drali's forcing, or notice where Nass is forcing the ball on that air dribble. He's forcing it behind Drali. He's not forcing it in front of him, where Drali can just roll with the ball into a natural recovery and counter-attack.
Oh, that's a kickoff that Drali is going to find very awkward for himself. Just found the boost to get up to the ball. But this is where Nass has done incredibly good work. That one, you can see what happens when Drali can roll with the ball. Picks up the 100, going to find Nass's car. Yeah, that's the reason why you don't let Drali play that position.
And Drali really has so much momentum for his air dribble bumps. It makes it a lot harder for Nass to get out of the way of. And that was perhaps not the right counter strategy there by Nass, jumping straight in front of Drali. You know, the best position for the attacker to see is a shadowing defender. If you're air dribble bumping, you want to see the defender shadowing so that you can just go straight for them. They're forced to run away while dodging, often leaving the ball as well. And Nass has, for the most part, challenged side on, but he does shadow on occasion. Drali was able to punish him when he did there.
Nass off the wall. Oh, doesn't actually get bumped away. Got hit, but just landed back on the same wall. I'd be a little bit annoyed by that. Oh, the pogo!
Oh!
We've got 2 in one day.
He's done it again, this time from close range. Nass with the pogo shot over Drali. He's just moving the ground upwards here. Drali trying to time his challenge as the ball bounces on the ground, but it doesn't bounce on the ground. It bounces on Nass.
I just love how last second that decision is made to go for it, and that's going to be another one up.
And Drali gives him a nice one here. I don't think that's serious. You know, there have been some compliments for open nets in this tournament that I'm sure are genuine. I don't know if that one was all that meaningful from Drali there. Not that Nass will care. I'm sure he's going to be even happier if he can get underneath Drali's skin. If he can get underneath this ball, he does. Drali reversing into position for a follow-up shot. That's gone into the bar as well, though. Nass calmly waits for it to come back to it.
Yeah, it's like Nass just knew that Drali wouldn't even dare try and challenge him on the goal line. Will Nass now dare to go for it? Yes, he does.
Oh.
And trying to sneak it underneath Drali. 100 boost has been stolen away. That bounce is actually pretty good.
It's following that same pattern you mentioned, Shogun, where Nass is just denying clears. Drali's missed the open net there, or has he? Oh, he just has. He's spotted an opening over the top of Nass in no man's land. Now Nass on the counter attack. He's got the flip reset. He's hit it way wide though. But notice how many of these shots are, you know, away from Drali. He can't just save this and then counter immediately. It's another air dribble bump. This one Nass will get away from with ease. And Drali with the recovery with the boost seal won't be in too bad of a position himself.
I think it's just a different in what the players have been expecting to get out of this. We already saw from where the way Rawas was playing this. 0 boost again. He was expecting to score off those big plays. Nass is not doing that. Nass is playing just to get Drali to save something, to get that car into the air, to get the boost out of it. And then just play with what you've got afterwards. And you're seeing how much of a difference that makes as Nass has gone around the world.
Yeah, Nass very ready for NA RLCS with that NASCAR impression, as we do have the continued comeback from him. A nice placement of the shot as Nass continues to show his preferred objective is to force bad saves out of Drali. This is just a textbook performance against the guy who's been on fire with his defense today. And all tournament long, Drali's been, you know, top quality defender, counter attacker, counter puncher, but he's not got many counter-punching options with the way that Nass is placing his shots. Like I said, he's not going for just a goal, and well, if it doesn't work, Drali's scoring. I think Drali might be salty, ladies and gentlemen. Nass just does absolutely nothing and wastes even more time. Oh, it didn't work out well for him for long, though.
Well, the Moroccan players are not here to try and play nice with each other.
Listen, if Nash demoed Drali there, I think Drali might have just said go next. It was that close to go next, but instead we've got a 2-goal game. Drali's still in control of the overall series, and he does have a good chance here to get another goal after the kickoff, but that first touch leaves a lot to be desired. He's scrambling to get under it. Oh, well, how does he produce an outplay in that position?
Still, Nass is back, reset again, can't find the good challenge. And now he's got to work from square one. Does at least have the boost, and Nass is very rightly going to probably back down here. So Drali up. Nass went so early, and he's been caught for it.
Yeah, Nass trying to mix up the defensive challenge timing, but Drali was more than ready for it. Drali just popped it the second that Nass turned, and he didn't even have to go for the air dribble bump because Nass wasn't in front of him.
Yeah, I just feel like Nass just fed straight into what the play was. Didn't mix it up. These players both mixing up their kickoff, both delaying it. Drali wants the challenge. Nass got very, very shy during the latter stages of some games against TRK. Allowed TRK to score 3 on the bounce. It's not available to him.
He's trying to take it back and waste time. Drali is cutting off the dribble into the back corner because he knows it's coming. Nass has wasted all the remaining time. He's 50-50 to under Drali. Just a masterful performance.
He tried to read him.
Time. I mean, which way? Look where Nass is going.
Oh, wait.
He sets up Drali. Okay. He's got full control, though. This is incredible by Nass. He's come back 2-2 in the series, and he has mined so much salt out of Drali already.
Oh, all right. Well, there's the hole. We've been waiting for it. It was only us earlier on that the salt was coming from, Johnny. Now we get some from the players, as it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be salty casters. It's supposed to be salty players in the salt mine. But yeah, Drali's got to be, feeling pretty annoyed right now with how this is going. I mean, Nass is just controlling him, and Drali's not had those openings to hit those counterattacks that he's really relied on for a lot of his success in this tournament so far. He's not been able to show off his mechanical plays all that often, and because Nass is just taking difficult shot after difficult shot, he's stopping the ball on the goal line, he's keeping Drali in his net for extended periods of time. And yeah, Drali's producing saves, but he's not threatening counterattacks with this style that Nass is bringing in the middle of the series here.
Yeah, and Nass has now won 2 in a row with 2 very salty games in a row for Drali.
He should keep going.
Absolutely, he should. I mean, not even doing anything that doesn't even make sense at the time. I mean, all he's really done is delay goals, if anything, and then the other one was a kickoff, which, I don't know. I don't think anyone's intentionally farming salt off from a kickoff.
I want to see Nass dribbling the ball back like at 1-0 in this game. If he really wants to get underneath Drali's skin, he should just start taking the ball into defense when he's up by 1 goal. Because, we mentioned it earlier, Drali does have some history of letting his emotions get the better of him. And Nass is going to try and use that. He wants to use any advantage he can to keep his perfect winning record against the current tournament favorite. And, maybe Nass is trying to show that actually he's a real tournament favorite.
He wants that demo. He really wants that demo.
Very calm play there from Nass, though. And actually, he's the one with the bump in the opening. Oh, wow. Nass catches Drali. Drali thought he was the hunter in that play. It's, in fact, him who's being hunted.
Yeah, Drali just got far too enthusiastic about that demo play. Needed to back down about 2 seconds ago. Instead, stuck with it. Wanted something to put Drali in the bra zone. Instead, the bra zone has very much found Drali.
Yeah, Nass is just completely in his head right now. Drali's lost the unbeatable kind of aura that he had when he took down Rawas earlier on. Nass is showing a much higher level of understanding how to beat Drali's style. Rawas was struggling to do it. Zen struggled to do it. Everybody's kind of struggled to. Everybody's lost to Drali who's played him, except Nass in this tournament. But that's a lot better by Drali. Fast and powerful, as he not only flicks the ball quickly, but uses the flick straight away after jumping in the setup.
Yeah, it's just really good. No nonsense whatsoever. And something that Drali, I think, needed more than anything else was just one of those comprehensive, you aren't getting anywhere near this sort of plays. Now back up. That's going to allow the play to happen. Not going to get demoed, but Drali can turn around and save it again. And he's recovered just enough. Drali does not want to let go of this. Going to have to settle for 100 boost, but no goal.
Oh, Nass, we played for the 12 boost. That's crazy. What an outplay. He dribbled the ball over 12 boost and then used it to flick it past Drali. That is one of the best low boost plays I've ever seen. Triple save from Nass, and then the counter attack with the initially 0 boost ball carry, but steering over that small pad to produce the outplay is just such quick thinking by Nass.
Drali cannot afford to let this almost get into his head now. We've seen a few of them. He didn't actually hit any quick chats after that, so I feel like that's almost a good sign. But if Nass gets another one, and especially if it's a kind of a tilting extra one, this could fall downhill. Nass has got the ball. The ball's running away from him, so he can't control it. Oh, but Drali gave it over to him!
No way! Well, Morocco, if they ever do start an international team, look like they've got the synergy pretty naturally. Nice little 1-2 passing play, but I mean, Nass is just showing that you shouldn't be shooting the ball top corner against Drali. He's gonna save it. Just roll it straight at him. That's a lot more difficult to know what to deal with. Clearly. Again, Drali just panics and gives it away. Now, he's not panicked in this play. Nass is right in front of him, but Drali kept his cool. He's within a goal again. Still feels very Nass controlled right now, though, this series. He's still inside Drali's side.
Yeah, that one almost looked like sort of positive tilt from Nass. He was not getting there. Like, he tried for it. That was just a misread on what that player was. And it was a rare one from Nass. He needs to, you know, maybe not go on the opposite sides. Maybe not believe the hype too much. Done well here. It's all about just maintaining the level.
Oh, the speed of Nass. He just dusted Drali to go up by 2 goals again. Drali just too pedestrian on the turn. He had a ton of boost, but he didn't use it. He didn't think Nass was going to go. Nass didn't just go. He went quickly.
I feel like Drali had the right idea there, but like the play for it was maybe wrong. That was one that he was going to need to jump for and sort of use the arrow, get some way of getting the bumper in the way. Nass shows him how to use the bumper properly and wipes out Drali's car.
Drali with the triple nice one after this, because Nass just failed his flip. He's failed his flick and then landed exactly on top of Drali. Yeah, I think Drali might be tilted, ladies and gentlemen. Nass has completely turned it around. He's just countering everything Drali does. He's chasing Drali to the corner here. He should start dribbling it back. Yep, this is exactly what he should do. It's worked out in the previous games. Why stop it? Just keep doing what's working.
Oh, that one's off target.
Yeah, he's missed.
Drali tried to find the angle. That was never happening. Nass finds the flick. That is a tremendous amount of power. Drali looks for the psycho. I've seen players further away. Drali on the blind spot.
He's very close every time with that, isn't he? He's like so threatening.
Players are going to get better and better at that as we go through the years. And well, that's the numerous things everyone's got to be worried about. Well, we've got to be worried about at the moment. Would Drali ever say go next and put his opponent on match point?
I think he might. You know, not right now. There's a long way to go, but I mean, Nass is just completely baited him. Yeah, it's close. I feel. It's close. Yeah, 7-7-2, 8-2. I could see goal next being called, but yeah, the key is that, you know, Nass, he's showing that his strategies, they work against everybody.
No.
He's continually, you know, boxing Drali out of plays, using little physical plays to his advantage. He's controlling the 50-50 game. He's not shooting the ball into positions Drali can save and recover from. He is just letting his patient style do the work for him, and that is going to be next at 7-2. Nass wins 3 straight and has 2 tournament points.
It's unbelievable. I think we're seeing here something that we see an awful lot in threes at the very least, and now ones, which is no matter how good a player seems to be, if you go against someone that's got a ridiculously strong record against you, it always seems to just revert back to that typical matchup. You know, big bro comes in and starts winning yet again, no matter how good you were playing earlier on against everybody else that maybe wasn't as familiar with you.
Yeah. It's fascinating because everybody else struggled so much against Drali. Drali's record in the tournament, 3-2 over Zen, 3-0 over Naupo, although that was a DQ series. Naupo lost actually to his internet cable in that one.
Yeah, guess who was casting that one, Cole?
Yeah. Drali 3-0'd Oski. He managed to 3-2 Vatira as well. He beat TRK 3-2 yesterday. He beat Ruas 4-3. I mean, he's beaten everyone except Nass.
He would have been happier to see any other name right now. You could have put anybody else in front of him except for Nass, and you'd be like, okay, I got this right now. But instead, it's just that player that you just know has your number, and it's so difficult to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well because Nass hasn't played to Drali's strengths. You know, he's had opportunities to go for, you know, those huge plays to just score top corner when Drali's in goal. He doesn't want to do that. He knows that Drali is going to save those shots. He's going to land well every time, and he's going to counterattack you. So it's been just such a disciplined performance from Nass, and such a frustrating series for Drali, who had everything going his way early on. He was up by 2 in a best of 7. You know, the conversion rate on two game leads in best of 7s is incredibly high. I don't know the exact number, but to come back and win 3 straight is, you know, amazing from Nass. And he's just read Drali again. He's just scored with a 50-50. It's 1-0 already in what could be the last game of EU Stage 2.
But for Drali, I'm just wondering, what was the play there? What was actually supposed to be on? He was going to catch that with the top of his car, with no momentum on the car. You know, it's just asking for Nass to go in and try and challenge, because to Nass, there's no actual threat.
That's a good flick by Nass. It's going to force a tough save. Drali makes it, though. And look at Nass. He's not going to shoot the ball where Drali wants it. Drali wants the ball to be fired at him. Nass instead waits for Drali to commit and then outplays him. I mean, this is a masterclass of control.
It's just not getting overexcited for Nass. He understands his positions. He understands he does not have to score within the next 2 seconds. He can score within the next 6. And that's all he's really having to add to it. And you can see how awkward it is for a defender. You've put them in a bad spot. Just let it stretch out.
Again, he's just going to let Drali hit the ball into him. And Drali...
Oh, he tried for the fake.
Yeah, he's got to be so careful with these. I mean, Nass is manipulating every 50-50 to his advantage. He's not taking any risks here. And I mean, he really is laying the blueprint for how to beat Drali, it would seem. Because nothing that he's doing is going to be that hard for the rest of the startup to recreate. Okay, but it's not the right time for me to be saying that, because that one's maybe going to be quite difficult to recreate. Well played with the reset. He's very good at just landing on it and using it straight away to make it 3-0 now in Game 6.
I don't know what you're talking about, Johnny. If anybody in my ranked ones wants to try and recreate that, you can go ahead. Get started on sometime soon. Drali, he does get the 100 at the very least. So something to work with, and a play that you feel has to go in. And it's very much not.
Yeah, nothing is going his way. Nothing. Nass is reading every move Drali makes. Drali with 100 boost to almost 0 there at the start of that play. And Nass still stops him and scores. No one has done this to Drali in this tournament. No one. Drali has been making everybody look silly with his defensive counters and his mechanical plays. Nass has made Drali look so normal here. He's, you know, brought Drali down to level that no one else has been able to unlock. And now he's clipping on him. It's 5.
All right, would we get an FF in this?
I don't think we will. I mean, this is crazy. This is exactly what we were saying not to do, but now that he's...
Might as well.
He's played a whole series where he hasn't done this. Now Drali's not expecting it. Nass is showing everybody, I actually do have mechanics. I can make these plays. I've just been conditioning Drali to expect me not to. And now in the closing game, he is clipping on him every single time. It's 6 for Nass.
The brick wall that was Drali has been smashed to pieces in this game. We're not even a minute and a half in here, Johnny. And Drali has been ripped to shreds.
I mean, this is the cherry on top of what's been the peak of Nass's 1v1 journey. To finish it off with a masterclass like this would be something special, but Drali's got a lot of time to work with. And that is 1 goal back with a powerful air dribble bump.
All right, there's one. And to be said, a lot of time to work with. But Drali, I mean, how do you even get yourself out of this mental rut that you would be in at this point? I think 2 goals, it would be what's required to help him just stabilize. Early challenge.
I would have loved to see Nass dribble that ball back just to tilt Drali further. That would have been, I think, just a genius play in the position. He should dribble this back as well.
He should just leave it. Just leave it.
Nah, he's trying to go out with a bang here too. You know, hats off to him. He wants to entertain Nass. Not just going for the win, but going for a complete blowout. He's got Drali backwards here. I mean, where are the easy clears that Drali's waiting for? They're nowhere to be seen. He's forcing bad saves, one after another. And once again, Nass has full control.
And it goes back to what you mentioned, you know, maybe even like 30 seconds ago, Johnny. These are positions that against Ruash, Drali lived for.
Yeah. Was
getting that ball, was able to play it afterwards. But now Drali feels like he's got to cover so many different things that Nass is hitting with that suddenly those positions aren't as easy to play anymore.
Yeah, it's all because of Nass's shot selection, his shot placement. He is, you know, shooting the ball awkwardly, straight at Drali sometimes, straight over Drali's head. You know, everyone else tried to go across the goal against this guy, but Nass is showing that that's not the, you know, default you should be going for.
Oh, no.
Drali looking for the counter. He gets hard right again. It's 8-1. Nass is inside his head every single play. Drali went for the counter attack, self-pass, but Nass saw it coming a mile away.
I'm so curious how much of this is just prior knowledge of the matchup and how much of this has been on the fly making adjustments, because those opening 2 games, Drali was doing his thing. He was actually able to bait Nass in to very bad spots. It looked like we were just going to get a rinse repeat as, there you go, Johnny, this is what you were after earlier on, and that's actually crushed him.
Well, that's a pretty good 50-50. That's not usually a position where 50-50s are favorable for the attacker. Drali says, please do something other than time wasting and scoring kickoff goals. Decent words per minute there on the typing. I've got to give him credit. That was quick. He did not take long to type out that sentence. Let's see if Nass does do something else than time waste and get kickoff goals.
Oh, well, Nass's recovery wasn't great. 6 goals needed.
Oh!
And Drali's actually got him. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Well, it's a long time left, and you know, we have seen in the past, sometimes this kind of just letting it all out, just being angry, it can work for some players. It can just cause them to refocus themselves. So, you know, got it out of your system. But it can also have the adverse effect as well. We have to wait and see which way Drali's going to go with this.
Oh, didn't get the wave dash, but he still gets the shot. We're down to 4. I repeat, we are down to 4.
Nass should say, please do something other than kickoff goals. Do it, Nass. Type it. Do it.
I'm very alarmed.
Wait, is this pause? Okay, well, I didn't expect to say that, but okay.
Okay,
that's fair enough.
I mean, does it count as time wasting? But time's not moving.
Absolutely valid. Okay, he wants 2 seconds.
Cool.
That's fine.
It's back to the podcast, I guess.
Right,
you know, quick break for us all.
Quick break here.
Just quick break
in the grand final.
Just 2 minutes, 4 seconds left. 4 goals between them, and a whole host of salt.
Bro, if he types out a paragraph, oh, I would absolutely kill for a paragraph. That, you know, isn't encouraging. No, we're encouraging it, aren't we? I shouldn't say
absolutely
that.
Encouraging
I shouldn't say that we aren't encouraging it when we
You're
are.
You're stuck between 2 minds here, Johnny. Johnny, the tournament organizer, and Johnny, the content creator. And they're fighting. It's a tug of war over what you really want.
Yeah, we're going to need to start giving warnings if players start calling pause just so they can talk trash in the text chat. All right, he's ready. Let's get back into this. Drali ready. We'll see. We don't want to restart this one.
No, we've seen how that works on occasion. It tends not to go great.
All right, well, here we go. It's 8-4 Nass on tournament point. Drali has got time on his side, though, as he attempts to make the comeback happen.
Oh, look for the trip, gets it, but Drali will not be able to do too much else outside of that. Nass is going to look for the car at the very least. And Drali now needs to get that momentum back. He was starting to cook. do have a goal. We can do it soon. And Nass is just going to waste some time. And didn't get tripped up too much.
Oh, Drali!
We are down to 3.
What a fake 50 by Drali. He accelerated into the ball, and instead of flipping into it, he just hits it straight into Nass, but at an angle that forces it into that side. Well, we've seen Nass use this against many players in this tournament. Now Drali's manipulating 50s in his favor, and it seems like he has completely cancelled out any tilt he was experiencing. It's 6. Drali's actually coming back.
He's doing it too quickly, if anything. He needs to cook slower. Drali has crunched another kickoff. Nass was not like Nass. Earlier on, he said, "Could you please stop scoring kickoffs? You are being far too accommodating right now. At least challenge the kickoffs." There you go. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's got to be in, isn't it? No, not directly. It is now. And Nass drops the no problem. Sorry, he's trying to mine a little bit more salt while he gets the win here. Kickoff goal for Nass. Really nice, slow 50-50. He knew Drali would flip.
It's a grand finals, by the way.
Another one. He missed the ball. Drali had an open net, but he missed the ball. It was a tough kickoff goal, but he missed it. Can Nass make it? Yeah.
Professional casting duo, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Drali's got the ball. Turns it inwards. Gets the flick. And it's saved by Nass.
Oh, that's just genius by Nass. He might actually be conceding here. The Drali does have an open net. He buries it. Okay, we do still have a game. We do still have a series. It's not gone yet. Too far.
I feel like I'm coming down with a fever. What is happening today?
Well, we had an all-time great series to start the stream. Then we had an all-time weird series. Now we've got an all-time great weird series in the grand final. Drali trying to force game 7. And he does have a good kickoff. This is a chance, a real chance, for him to get back within 1. Efficient takeoff. The air dribble is through. He's got a lot of time, but that is not the bounce he wanted. Has he got the finish? Yes, he does, but Nass is there.
Yeah, just tried to play it for the target. Didn't put too much power on it. That's an awful touch, though, from Drali, who does recover it at the very least. 30 seconds, 2 goals. It's about to be free. Drali gets the stop. And this is where he cooked so well earlier on in the tournament.
Another great takeoff by Drali. He's looking for the bump. Lineup. Instead, it's a reset by Drali. Last second. Lands on the ball and gets it past Nass.
My body doesn't know what emotions it's trying to process right now. I'm going to try and tell it it's processing hype. We are down to 1 goal between these two.
And it was 6. It was 8-2 in favor of Nass. Then Drali's gone 6 goals to 1 on a ridiculous swing. And he does have a chance to make this a tie game. Not the best takeoff, but he could just go all in here. There's no time left. Air double bump by Drali. Nass saves it, but it's still going in. Double save by Nass, and now Drali's in a world of trouble.
Gotta go coast to coast, and you can already hear Nass is looking for him. Wants to find the trip. That's too far away. Nass has won stage 2.
Add a little bit of extra salt on the exit there. Triple what save by Nass, just to rub it in. I mean, great fight back there by Drali. What a try to come back from 6 goals down. Fantastic effort. But it will be Nass who takes stage 2. And in phenomenal fashion. Beating Drali twice. Once in the group stage, once in the grand final. That's 4-0 all time against Drali. He has laid the blueprint to beat the guy no one else has beaten in this tournament.
do we read that one? Apparently we are showing this.
Oh, Drali, bro.
I think that there is unsettled scores in that one.
Had a fun time, except for this series against an unfathomably boring opponent.
I think.
Oh my goodness!
I think that sums it all up so very well. What?
Wow. Guys, we're halfway through the final day of stage 2.
And this is the reason why you all need to start watching MENA tournaments, by the way.
We had a remarkably unsalty tournament until now. That is a heavy dose of salt. We're going to go to a break. When we're back, it's North America. So enjoy the post-series highlights. And we'll be back with which series is it first, Ben? Actually, for North America, I believe it's Diaz Chronic first of all for NA. Diaz, the hottest prospect coming out of Brazil right now, against Chronic, England's best American player. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss that one. GG's. Nass is your EU Stage 2 champion. We'll be back with the update on the points and the setup for Diaz Chronic right after this break.